Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca if you're new here. I go to the University of Arkansas. I'm finishing out my sophomore year, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about sorority recruitment again. You can probably tell from like the title or thumbnail, whatever I put it in, but today we're talking about conversation tips, and truth be told, this is probably the best video to prepare you for recruitment. So I wanted to wait until I actually went through recruitment as a recruiter before I made this video, because every video I've made up to this point has pretty much just been me talking from a P&M's perspective, just because I only ever went through as P&M. Now that I've gone through recruitment as a recruiter and not as a P&M, I kind of know more, especially about like what to say and what not to say and how to make conversations flow easier, just because I did get to talk to more people. And so I definitely learned a lot. I wanted to make this easy on you guys, so I came up with 5 tips. But before I get into those, I want to preface this with, your outfits don't matter as much as you think they do. I thought they mattered so much as a P&M, and even up until the point that I was recruiting, I thought your outfits meant a lot, and they kind of do because they help with like your personal confidence and everything like that. But truth be told, as a recruiter, I don't think I could tell you a single thing that a girl wore. And it's because it's rude to look somebody up and down, and that's just the truth. Like, if I was picking up a girl at the door, I would never in a million years look at her outfit like that, because that is absolutely obnoxious. And I don't think anybody does. Like, no recruiter looks at a girl's outfit, because you just don't have time, and you want to be kind and you want to be nice and respectful, so everybody just looks you in the eyes the whole time, because that's where you look when you're having a conversation with somebody. And so I don't think I ever looked at a girl's outfit, and the only time I ever did look at something a girl was wearing was if it was like her earrings or like a necklace or something like that, because it's by her face, and so if we were talking I could see it out of like my peripheral vision. But peripheral? That's not how you say that word. Anyways. This is so bad. I haven't made a video like this in forever. This is very hard. Moving on, I'm going to start talking about the 5 things that you need to know for conversations, because this is truthfully what matters the most. So tip number 1 is to make the conversations easy. You have to remember that recruiters are going to more parties than you are. They are talking to more people than you are, and therefore they are way more tired than you are, truth be told. If you make the conversations easy, they'll leave with positive thoughts about you and about their time with you. And I know you're probably thinking, like, how do I make a conversation easy? And honestly, the answer is to elaborate. Every single time somebody asks you a question, you need to think they asked it saying, "And if so, explain." Imagine every single question the recruiter asks you ends with that phrase. So if I asked a girl like, "Oh, so like, what's your major?" I would expect her to tell me what her major is, but then also tell me why she picked it and why she's interested in it. That just makes the conversation flow so much better. It makes it easier on everybody. And so just try and say at least like 2 to 3 sentences about anything you're asked about. Another example is like, if I asked you, "Where are you from?" you could tell me your hometown, and then tell me why you love it. Tell me some things you did. Tell me why it's great. Things like that. Why did you come to Arkansas? I don't want you to say, "Oh, just because it's so pretty." Tell me a story. Tell me about when I came touring, I fell in love with the trees and the blah, 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 blah. You know, elaborate. Really get into as much detail as you can with every question, and that'll also help your conversation steer away from typical. I think that's every girl's goal, is to not just talk about the typical things. Like, you want to actually get to know somebody and actually know if you can fit in. And so if your conversation kind of trails off a little bit past the typical conversations, that's always best. And the more you elaborate, the more likely your conversations are to steer away from the typical. Tip number 2 is to be genuinely interested in not only the sorority, but the girl recruiting you. I can't tell you how many times I just felt like people were not interested, didn't give a single care in the world about the sorority or me. And that's not fun. It's supposed to be a conversation. It's not supposed to be an interview. You need to go in wanting to get to know us just as much as we want to get to know y'all. And you kind of have to think about it like, how are you ever going to find the place where you belong if you don't know anything about the girl that's recruiting you, anything about the sorority itself, if you're not asking questions? Even if you think that maybe this isn't going to be the house for you, maybe if it's not your favorite, you still have to go in acting like you're so excited to be there and try and think of all the positives. Because I remember going through recruitment, there was one house on the first day that I did not like at all. I actually like cut them from my list, and I ended up going back to them the next day, and then the next day they shocked me, and I was so surprised, and I had such an amazing time there, and they moved up like 6 spots on my list. And so it was really fun. And so you have to go in with a positive attitude, because you actually never know. Each sorority has like 300, 400 girls, and so you can't judge your whole opinion based on just the one round. That's why there are so many days and so many rounds of recruitment, because you have to give each day an opportunity. So every time you go into a house, you have to go in with the mindset of like, this could be my home, this could be the place where I belong, and you have to look for the positives in it. Go in it looking for positives, don't go in it looking for negatives. And not just even the sorority, but you have to be interested in the girl recruiting you. Like, I can't tell you how many times, like, open party is a great round to talk about because it's 15 minutes and it's really a lot of get to know you questions. And I'd ask a girl, like I said earlier, like, what's your major? And she would tell me, oh, like, I'm a journalism major, and then just sit there and smile. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And, you know, recruiters are trained, and so like we know how to keep the conversation going, and like we don't necessarily mind the fact that it's a lot of like us asking questions and you just answering. That happens a lot, but the best conversations are the ones where we get to talk as well a little bit. And so if I'm like, what's your major? Then you tell me, and then you would say, what's yours? I don't think any girl ever really asked me. I think maybe like 2 girls asked me what my major was. And it's kind of funny just because like if you think about how you have conversations with people in the real world, that's how you act, is when they ask you a question, you kind of return the question to them as well. And so don't be afraid to try and get to know your recruiter. Try and get to know if the girl is somebody you think you could be friends with. Recruiters like it when you care about them. I mean, like, that's just, I mean, everybody likes it when you care about them. That's just the truth. On the note of being interested in the sorority and in the recruiter, it's also really important to ask questions and to come prepared with questions for each round, and think about things that you actually want to know. Don't just go in with like, what's your philanthropy? Because you can Google that. One of my favorite questions I ever got was like, what was your favorite event, or what's your favorite thing to do with your friends and your sisters? Things like that. Things that get the recruiter like telling stories about their experience in their sisterhood. Those are always really good. You'll probably come into each round with like at least 3 questions you can ask. And open party, you probably won't get the opportunity to ask too many questions because it's a lot of like the recruiter trying to get to know you. But especially in philanthropy and sisterhood, it helps if you come in with questions. Truthfully, you should try and get to know the people more than you're trying to get to know like facts, if that makes sense. And so come in with questions that when you ask them, you'll hopefully get to know the people in the sorority better and like what the experience in the sorority is like. When you go through philanthropy round, a lot of the time you'll watch like a video or you'll hear like a little speech or something like that about the philanthropy. And so really try and pay attention during those videos and during those speeches, and as they're playing and as they're talking, like try and come up with a couple questions to ask about, because that'll show you we're interested and paying attention and care a lot. After watching the videos, you'll probably see some of their events. And so like in my sorority, one of the events we do is a volleyball tournament. And so, you know, if you see that in the video, you can come back later after the fact when we're talking, you can be like, I saw that y'all do a volleyball event. Did you attend that? And what did you do at the event? Kind of a thing. And like just trying to get to know what I did and what my experience was. I'm off center again. This is very difficult. I'm trying to be like super cliche sorority girl right now, and I didn't do my hair. I'm sorry guys. I feel like I look kind of hippie today because I didn't do my hair. Literally, I did not curl my hair, so I feel like I'm a hippie. That makes no sense. Okay. Ugh. Okay. I literally cannot talk today. I don't even know. My camera's gonna die. That was That was tip number 3. Okay. Moving on. Tip number 4. Truth be told, everybody likes to receive compliments. And it made me feel so good when a girl would come into our house and say something like, I love y'all's philanthropy. I love your house. Your house is so beautiful. And it's just, it makes it nice and easy because recruiters are nervous. I'm gonna say that again. Recruiters are nervous. We want you to want us. And so I just took my hand through my, don't be a butt kisser. There's a difference between like butt kissing and saying like one nice thing. And so if the whole conversation is you being like, oh my God, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, that's not a good conversation. Don't do that. But a good conversation is one where we have a conversation where you elaborate on a story and then you ask me a question and then you say, I really love it here. And the reason I say this is because, okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. Anyways, long story short, all sororities do some kind of grading, scoring, decision-making system. So after a recruiter talks to you, at some point after they talk to you, they comment on their experience with you. in one form or another. Every sorority does it differently, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's how decisions are made. They look at the comments the recruiter made about their conversation with you. This is not secret knowledge. Everybody knows this happens. Anyways, by the time your conversation is done with a recruiter, you want them to remember how they felt with you. And that's what I think most recruiters remember. They don't necessarily remember all of the detail. You have to think about the fact that they've talked to so many girls that day, and so they're not gonna remember the details. They're not gonna remember that you're the girl with the brother that's in the army. Like, they don't know that. They might remember some things, but at the end of the day, more so than anything, they're gonna remember how you made them feel. And if they feel like you're a really nice person and you're really easy to talk to, that's all you need. You don't need to like be the most impressive person ever. You need them to leave feeling like, yeah, this is a girl I want to be friends with. That's what you're trying to do. You're not trying to list off a resume. You're not trying to impress them. You're trying to make them feel like you could be their friend. This brings me to tip number 5, is to relax and act like we're already friends. That is the goal of this whole thing, is to just make friends. You should go into each conversation like you're trying to make a new friend, more so than you're trying to make them like you. And girls were super nervous. I mean, I know, I was like, we were all PNMs once. We've all been there, done that. And so we all know that like it's super nerve-wracking and you are scared and that's okay. Just try and relax, deep breath, and just remember that we're just everyday average girls. Why did I say it in that voice? We're just everyday girls, just like y'all, and we just want friends too. Like, that's literally, it's all just it's like speed dating for friends. Like, that's literally what recruitment is. And so just relax. Like, you don't need to impress us. And like, at the end of the day, I think people put too much pressure on what sorority you're in. Y'all need to chill out. I'm gonna say this, it doesn't matter. It does not matter at the end of the day what sorority you're in, because everybody loves their sorority. I'm gonna say that again. Everybody loves their sorority. Everywhere from the top of Maple Street all the way down, they all love their sorority and they all think their sorority is the best. That's the truth. And do you want to know why? It's because all sororities freaking rock. They're all so good, and they all provide you with great leadership opportunities, great sisterhoods, great ways to get involved in community service, like professional opportunities. They all give it to you, every single one. I don't think there's a sorority you could be in, especially at the University of Arkansas, where you wouldn't be happy. Every single person thinks theirs is the best. And I guarantee you, whatever house you end up in, you will think yours is the best as well. And that's just the truth. And it's okay, because we all think we're the best. So with that being said, don't stress, relax, it's okay. At the end of the day, it's just a sorority. You're awesome, you're so loved, and your value is not found in what Greek letters you wear. I just want to emphasize that so much. Yeah, but that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, all that jazz. And if you want me to do more videos about sorority recruitment, feel free to comment down below what you'd like to see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, y'all.